You are listening to a free edition of the opening of the novel Mute Telemetry, written and narrated by Douglas Gosselin. Unclassified, public disclosure. The line between fiction and now is thin enough to step across. This book uses real places, years, and artifacts as anchors. When a scene names an identifiable person, place, or event, details are adapted for narrative purposes. The annex and its chamber follow invented rules that serve the story's moral and structural logic. The seams are not imagined, they already exist. Capacity is outrunning restraint. The deficit is judgment. Cut cables distort latency. Counterfeit parts move through trusted chains. Synthetic media reshapes what can be believed. Quantum links send information across fiber. This account gathers those threads into one system and one room. The only invention is their convergence. If you want proximity, look at 2025. Researchers teleported a logic gate between network processors and ran a distributed algorithm. Others showed optical teleportation and even teleportation across a warm microwave channel linking separate refrigerators. Another team produced results where cause and effect briefly coexist. Regulators, meanwhile, moved to contain synthetic media already capable of moving markets, elections, and belief. In the same year, Cisco's P200 aimed to link AI data centers nearly 1,000 miles apart, replacing 92 chips with one, cutting power by more than half, and using deep buffers to keep clusters in sync. Above that fabric, speculation widened. Harvard's Avi Loeb floated 3 I/Atlas as a constructed probe. SETI's AKM Hawk argued its path and spectrum fit a natural comet. Thin evidence invites story. Now, the human part, a concrete room, cold air, the steady hum of cooling lines. A palm rests on a metal rail. Breath fogs the glass. The machine is only as honest as the hands that use it. This is not fantasy. At scale, signal and intent blur, and our tools shape truth. The novel tests them. What survives is on you. Chapter 1. Anchor laws. 3 subjects appear. Bone, blur, nothing. The latch is still. Emma records the contradiction and moves fast. Her pen clicks on the page. For a breath, she does not believe what she saw. Training wins. She keeps her hand off the latch and the door shut. She lays a palm on cold steel. A small tremor answers. Latch down. 2 controlled breaths. Console steady. She writes what the manuals leave out. Occupied, sealed. Red, do not touch. Opening triggers a lock. Release needs authorization and a wrench on the couplers. Anchor, a repeatable rhythm that keeps a person whole. Phrase, habit, object. Mapping, records and replays experience. Direction only. Matter stays. Smell sometimes leaks. No projections, no doubles. Neural noise possible. No genetic change. Attention set state. Strongest physical anchor wins. Log everything. Occupied, burned. Audio hung. Video gone. Errors climbed the screen. A voice bled through the buffer in a register that did not belong to this room or this year. That was when she called Malik and Tom. She kept the chain clean, buffers untouched, raw timestamps only. No filters, no reroutes, no edits before witnesses. If it loops again, she will hear her own voice next. Emma moved fast enough to make the room look slow. Dark prints gathered on the console. Breath counted itself. Hands shook inside the gloves she still wore out of habit. The wing tightened around small sounds. Malik arrived with a tray of instruments. The metal clicked once on the counter. He took the drive, read offsets, did not ask a question. Machines misbehaved for him. Machines did not scare him. Emma did, a little, like this. Tom came after. Patrol eyes, vents, strips, hinge, door. He studied Emma and saw a smallness he did not trust. 2 minutes, Emma said. Audio anomaly. Video dropped. Timestamps loop. Old register. Circuit held. Chamber untouched. Malik set the drive down and did not boot a thing that would alter a byte. Tom checked the interlock and the pressure gauge. Narrow efficiency. Rooms do not become accidents when the right people arrive. The feed smelled like barnwood, the way sound can smell. The word Tremont threaded the buffer. A bell struck once. The console faulted and then steadied. Cold gathered, thin and exact. Emma read logs. Malik indexed offsets by hand. The knot at her throat pulled tight. In the margin she wrote, record only. Do not narrate. The file finished indexing. A blue icon waited. Timecode sat at 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds on the playback monitor. The other screens held a taut hum. Malik looked up. Tom watched Emma. She did not break. Her finger hovered. Cursor blinked. Malik gave one slow nod. Tom's jaw closed. She kept the pause until the room learned the weight of it, then pressed play. Static, then boards straining, rope under tension, a horse shifting, a lantern's hiss. The bell again, iron and far across water. The time code climbed. A doorway entered frame. A hand, another. 3 figures crossed into the chamber on the recording. A young man, a young woman, and a woman a few years older. They wore what Boston wears now. Knit caps, mid-weight parkas, jeans, salt-on sneakers, a canvas tote on one shoulder, a phone lanyard against a zipper, melt beaded on cuffs as if they had just come in from a cold street. Their breath showed once in the halo of the chamber lights. None of it belonged in this room. Tom leaned in until his shoulder touched the glass. This is recorded. Not a question. He looked from the time code back to Emma, as if asking the machine to choose one truth. Malik's mouth tightened. He checked the offsets he had written, then the clock in the corner. Playback only. No live feed. He said it again, softer, as if repetition might make it hold. On screen, the door sealed. Wet thud. The strip beside the frame in the video stayed red. Bodies blurred, bent, vanished. Empty room. Occupied still burned on the chamber status panel in the recording. The monitor continued to run. No one spoke. Tom's hand closed once on the back of a chair, then let go. Malik set his pencil down and watched the seconds roll with a face that did not know what to call what it saw. Chapter 2. Anchor Laws. 2 years ago, they emptied the physics buildings and sealed the wing for one project. Lecture halls became locked rooms. Chalk vanished. Voltage lived where dust used to settle. The place was no longer public. It belonged to this work alone. 946, annex intake. Noah sat with paper and glue. Ledgers leaned together, margins full of dates and fragments. His pencil was down to wood. He kept 2 shirts between washings and stretched bread across mornings. Both parents worked, bills folded in biscuit tins. He read slow, listening for patterns the page would not say. Lily's desk was exact under the lamp. Waveform panes glowed pale blue. A brass metronome sat near her keyboard. She turned it in her palm now and then. The weight steadied her. Timing kept edges from fraying. They worked by habit and by trust. He watched the sequence. She measured timing. They matched a diarist's repeated comma to a clipped pause on an old spool. He penciled a note. Quill catch. She taped the spectrogram to his diary. Small proofs, private. 10:02, coffee. Noah carried 4 cups, a notepad, a folded scrap with names. Lily, Sam, Noah. Emma's badge read Dr. P. He nudged the door with a boot. Coffee, historical precedent. Emma took the cup without ceremony. Her eyes flicked to the scrawl, then back to the console. Sam stood by the glass. 2 years out of the police showed in the way she held space. Her son's reminder lived in her pocket. Do not be late. You asked what this place is for, Emma said. They told me physics, Sam said. Think Voyager, Emma replied. She cued a clip. A minister paused 4 beats too long and the waveform kept the gap. We keep pattern, pauses and repeats that should have faded. So this is a box for language, Sam said. Signals go in. Analysis happens here. Nothing leaves the room, Emma said. Noah set the cups down. Ink smudged his thumb. History does not wait, he said. Lily set the metronome. 80, she said. Noah's pencil found the count without looking. Sam glanced back, weighing Emma. Procedure was clear, and the cost of getting it wrong was visible in every chart. 10:07, corridor. The hallway narrowed. Monitors stuttered. Static moved through the vents. Signal processing, Lily said at the glass. Cadence against noise floors. We tag speech and text and measure how cadence shifts. Noah mouthed a formula on a wall chart. Sam counted paces and traced camera arcs. She studied hinge and sight strip the way she once studied bank glass. Chamber, Lily said. Sam pressed her palm to brushed steel. Walk me through it, she said. 2 layers, Lily answered. Inner seal rides independent. Watch the pressure band. If it smears, do not touch the latch. Say if you want to walk the interlock. Panel check. Both bands green. Inner seal reads empty. No subject flagged. Test it, Sam said. Lily turned the handle and the door moved a fraction too far. Cold slid past a wrist. Lights along the jamb woke. The floor hummed. Stay close, Lily said. They crossed together. Steel met rubber underfoot. The air tasted like pennies in rain. At the last inch the chamber took it. Steel met steel with a wet thud. The strip lit, occupied. The system toggled on anchor input. Lily's metronome tick at her collar registered as presence. 10:08, console. Video failed, audio held. A voice came through the feed, scraped of breath and reading like a page. Boston, winter 1812. Barn off Tremont. Rack stamped U states, lantern low. Emma froze. Noah's cadence. Wrong century. Wrong floor. She hit the PA. Out of the chamber. Now. Back to me. Do not engage. Red held. The console spat garbage. Fault 0x95 loop. Timestamps drifted. The buffer overran. No graph. No schema. Only a sound that should not exist. Lily's last tempo, 8 beats, a touch over 6 seconds, sat under the hum. Then a harbor bell shoved the annex noise off the speakers. Emma grabbed the taped slip and wrote fast. 8 beats, approximately 6.0. Bell overrides 60 hertz. Tremont in stream. Anchor external. The machine did 3 things: ingest cadence, map it to signal, return a log. No projections, no placement, no transfer of material conditions. Range, duration, reciprocity, return path, bleed, no answers. Pressure gathered in the glass. Pitch climbed, cold bit teeth. Lily glanced back at the console glass at the end of the hall. The metronome rested in her palm. Thumb traced its edge once. She pulled the door. At the last inch, the chamber took it. A wet thud set steel to steel. The strip lit, occupied. The system toggled on anchor input, not bodies. The metronome tick at Lily's collar counted as presence. 10:08, console. Video failed, audio held. A voice came through the feed, scraped of breath, reading as from a page. Boston, winter, 1812. Barnoff, Tremont. Rack-stamped U states. Lantern low. Emma froze. Noah's cadence. Wrong century. Wrong floor. She hit the PA. Out of the chamber. Now. Back to me. Do not engage. Red held. The console spat garbage. Fault 0x99F loop. Drifting timestamps. Buffer overrun. No graph. No schema. Only a sound that shouldn't exist. The wall clock ticked. Lily's last tempo in her head. 8 beats, a touch over 6 seconds. Then a harbor bell shoved the annex hum off the speakers. She grabbed the taped slip and wrote fast. 8 beats, approximately 6.0. Bell overrides 60 hertz. Tremont in stream. Anchor external. Pressure gathered in the glass. Pitch climbed, cold burned teeth. Under the static, a bell tolled once, iron and far across water. Then again. A brittle scrap in Noah's file shifted. One penciled word in the corner, Tremont. Her warning ran down steel. The interlock held. Sound collapsed. Emma shut the binder and placed her palm on steel. Limits and conditions had lost their purchase. The file finished indexing. A blue icon blinked on the console. Emma reached and cut the recording. She looked up and saw Malik and Tom in the doorway. "And that is when I called you for help," she said. For a heartbeat, the room forgot how to make noise. No hum, no breath. Lights blurred to halos. Tongues tasted metal. No projection. If input and output had been hijacked, the pull ran through what remained open, air pressure and sound. Then everything at once. Wood straining, rope under tension, a horse stamping, grain scattering across planks, air like river ice. Smoke and iron first, then hay dust and old ash. Rough boards, a dark barn, a lantern burned low above. Light leaked between slats and caught floating motes. Rafters crossed like ribs. Harness hung in loops. A horse shifted and blew steam through a gap. 3 people did not know if they shared one vision or if the chamber had turned into a kind of projection no one had briefed. Any other explanation lived past the edge of comprehension. No one moved. They hadn't yet learned to. Lily gagged first. She bent until her stomach emptied into straw. The metronome ticked in her fist. Unwound. Noah pushed up on an elbow. "Emma?" The word went nowhere. Phone. Dead. The glare hit like a flash, pocketed by reflex. Sam blinked hard, orienting to nothing known. "What is this?" To no one. Boards popped. Cold slid under coats and bit teeth. Outside, boots crushed frozen ground. A hinge shifted, stopped, creaked again. Someone testing a latch. They looked at one another, waiting for a cue that did not come. Voices fell small without instruction, as if the room pressed sound down. The bar at the door lifted a finger's width and fell. Voices bled through wood, flat with cold. Cadence strange. Lily whispered without knowing why. "Is this a set? A demo?" Noah answered at the same register. Instinct, not choice. "Heck if I know." The door opened a handspan. A wedge of night cut the floor. Lantern light from outside met the low lamp inside and set shadows drifting in 2 directions at once. "Anyone there?" a man called, bored, local. They froze. Breath made small ghosts. The lantern slid in. Iron, rope. The wrong seams of their clothes would show if it reached far enough. The beam crawled the wall, paused on a stamped rack. U States, Springfield Armory. Noah stared, letters only. A mouse darted. The horse stamped, answering for them. The lantern moved. Boots entered, 2 pairs. The beam climbed, found the loft, lingered. Dust fell in a fine gray rain. Watches moved to the bridge, one said. We will fetch 2, the other answered. Turn, bar down, voices faded. Stillness answered stillness. Hearts set a second clock. Lily swallowed. What are we standing in? Noah touched the rack. Oil blackened his fingers. The smell pinned. A barn, he said, quieter to himself. A barn. 1 breath, Sam said. Outside air. A back door by feel. Swollen wood. Lily pressed. No shift. Noah set a shoulder. The seam eased. Clean cold cut the rank air. Beyond, yard crusted with snow, a stone wall, bare apple trees. Far off, a bell rang once, then again. On the third, a shout answered from the road. Sound carried the way modern cities do not allow. They stepped out. Snow took prints and gave them back as shadows. At the wall, they listened. Barn breath held, horse settled. Somewhere an oar knocked a boat. Farther, a gun spoke from the harbor and rolled its voice across sleeping roofs. Lily looked up. No jet scars, no orange dome. Cold that made sound carry. Emma will call us back, she said. Noah set a palm to stone. The world answered with weight. He trusted weight. Through the slats, a small light shifted. Someone had returned. Quiet, Sam said. Barely air. Not command. A wish. They moved along the wall toward trees that did not know them. The occupied strip burned. The pressure band sat wrong. The feed showed a harbor bell and the word Tremont. Cold leaked from the jam. Spec binder open. The machine did 3 things. Ingest cadence, map it to signal, return a log, no projections, no placement, no transfer of material conditions, stillness, range, duration, reciprocity, return path, bleed, no answers, binder shut, palm on steel, limits and conditions no longer held. They kept the stone wall between them and the road until the hill bell fell quiet. The harbor answered colder, metal on metal, then a hush that belonged to ice. Lanes pinched toward water, roofs rhymed and close, tar and fish in the air. A rope walk ran off like a long thought, windows dead, keyboards whitened, frost and grain. Keep to the left, Sam said low. Outside edge, chin lowered, wool cap hiding hair, eyes down. A woman on an errand in a town that sorted women on sight. Purpose noticed and passed if nothing asked men to pay. A fisherman stood where a ladder bit the key. He banged a hook against a cleat to clear ice. At the north bell he looked up, past them, not at them. Sound reached farther here, sliding across water and shedding heat as it went. Noah counted towers seen, then towers heard. Named by distance, not parish. Close, mid, far, low, then high. When 2 struck near together, a third place between them carried farthest. Not pitch, pressure. The harbor built a room from sound. Frost gathered on a sill and lifted when the bell struck. Each vibration threw lace off the water. Lily kept the metronome in her pocket, thumb on the worn nick, unwound. The fishermen checked their shoes, the seams of their coats. His eyes paused at Sam's jaw. He returned to work. Order held, cold picked bone. Gatewatch turns at the quarter, he said. Not to them and not to no one. Words meant to land near decent ears and move on. Bridge follows when the north bell rings twice. Noah let cadence do the work. Quarter, north bell twice, bridge after. They moved along the quay. A small sloop rocked in slush, paint black at the waterline, transom picked in leaf. Gold name cut by a careful hand, Lily. Quarter board carved with maple and vine. The flourish a cousin gets paid to make. Light caught and turned the name to a small fire. Lily stopped. It's pretty. The word didn't cover it. Satisfaction rose. Her thumb pressed the metronome's nick. Face, even. Noah's mouth went dry. He knew the lettering. I wrote that. Lily touched the gold. Brightness moved behind her eyes and held. You named a boat. It was a placeholder. Words small, already receding. The clean serif on the Y sent heat up his neck. Sam watched the slip. The fisherman turned to his net. A cart rattled past with half a pig under canvas. A child ran after it, laughing once at Lily's shoes. The world does not need a reason to choose its targets. The bells are making a map, Lily said. They're setting the room. Keep moving. They let water teach the length of a bell note on iron. When one tower struck high and another low, a third place between them carried farthest. In that place, words came clear. Elsewhere they bent. Wind shifted. Sam put them in shadow without hurry. Doorways that held heat. Corners many had used. No alleys. Alleys are where men make rules of their own. Mark it, Noah said. No notebook. A notebook marks you. He tapped a sleeve twice. Lily counted the interval and stored it. The fishermen looked up once more, fixing their place. A nod without smile. Some people recognized need and let it pass. A second north strike. Somewhere up the hill, a watch turned. Sam set them away from the quay and into streets where sound carried less and eyes did not carry at all.